Hello, this is SSW. Now, this stream will be about air rifles, particularly break barrel and PCP air rifles and pistols. So air guns that are PCP and break barrel. Our discussion, no off-topic chats. This is specifically for about PCP air guns, pistols, and rifles, and of course, break barrel air rifles. How do you do, Nomad? Welcome to the stream. Now, as you know, I have a very powerful break barrel air rifle. It's 1,000 FPS. Now, someone asked me, how much does this cost? Well, and this was a British air gunner. Well, it only cost me around $250. It could have been $100, but that deal went for the same model. But around $150 I could have paid. But it doesn't break the bank, this particular air rifle. So it's pretty powerful, and it's you get it for a good price, around $200, around $100, $200, depending on who's selling it online. You know what I mean? Now you want to watch the video. Now, PCP air rifles, very powerful, pre-charged pneumatic, lethal. There are versions that's like, for example, the Hudson Blitz is like the AK-47 of air rifles. It could literally hose down an entire room with an extended mag. I mean, that's how powerful it is. It's lethal, quite lethal. There's also other PCPs, for example, that could kill a bear. The AEA Zeus, the AEA Zeus. How you doing, Camo Campa? There's the AEA Zeus. That's basically like a big bore air rifle. Of course, there's one similar to it. The Humorex Hammer, another big bore air rifle that can take down a large animal. A lot of other air rifles, PCPs, and break barrels can be quite lethal. Now, break barrels, not always. You know what I mean? Some of them can be very light on the joules, but on the FPS. But there's some heavy duty break barrels out here that are like the one I got that would just has that knockdown power to a certain extent. There's one that's even more. There's one break barrel that's even more powerful than mine that I thought I was thinking about getting before. It takes I think it takes like 35 caliber pellets. Yeah. I'm glad everyone's here. Thanks for the like. Well, if you just came in, give me a like. Now, there's the new powerful PCP air pistol as well. The Cuban is a very good example of that. It's like a revolver, and it has firearm power. It's a PCP, and it will just be lethal. The Cuban. Look that one up. Well, if you just came to the stream, give me a like. The price point for a Black Ops, it'll range either, depending on who's selling it online, either around $100 or around $200. It doesn't break the bank. For mine, there was someone selling the same model, but for around 150. But that basically but I had to save up for that one, and I had to wait for my money. And by the time that deal passed before I could get to it, so there was another offer for like $250, you know, off by another seller on eBay. So same model, same make. It's just it was a little bit more pricey, but didn't break the bank, you know. Thank you, Kamba Campo. You know, for example, the Cuban like PCP pistol probably won't break the bank on you. It's a PCP pistol that has firearm power. Now, I want to make the difference. PCP is lethal. Okay, PCP and some break barrels can be lethal. Okay, these got lethal power. Thank you, Chad. Thank you. So we're talking about PCPs here. Now, just about any, with the exception of Jersey, can buy a PCP air rifle or a pistol, and it can have firearm lethality. And you don't even have to be, there's no background check in America. You know what I mean? Now, if you live in England, the power of an air rifle is regulated in England by the law. You know what I mean? You know, so if you're living in Europe, it's not such the case. But if you're in America, anyone can buy a PCP or a high-powered break barrel rifle, and you can get some firearm power. You know, I would suggest the PCPs. Well, thank you, Chad. I'm always glad to. Now remember, we're going to stay on topic here. We're not going to go too far off topic. We're talking about PCPs here. PCPs and break barrel air rifles, the lethal kind. You know what I mean? Of air guns. Now these are the lethal kind of air guns. So if you're looking to defend yourself, let's say defend your home, and you can't get a firearm, go buy a Hudson Blitz. PCP air rifle with an extended mag. That's the AK-47 of air rifles. That will hose down an entire room. Yeah, it is very weird, you know. But, you know, because we got the Second Amendment here in America, they don't regulate, you know, these air rifles. You know, like they do in other countries, with the exception of New Jersey. New Jersey is a state that is highly restrictive. You can have this kind of power, you know, without the firearms registry, you know. For example, so it doesn't matter if you're a felon or have a mental health record. You can buy one of these PCPs. Awesome. That's true, Campa. The Hudson Blitz, there is nothing. I mean, it is just pure firepower right there, you know. If you want something and like a PCP air rifle that's going to basically take down several, you know, home invaders in one setting, the Hudson Blitz, brother, with an extended mag, boom, 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 pow, 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 pow. You know, the Hudson Blitz. Now, let me give you a brief history on the history of PCP air rifles, for example. You know, the first PCP air rifles were used by the Prussian army. They were used quite effectively, and of course, one of these PCP air rifles, one of the original ones, actually made it to basically like Lewis and Clark. I think it was Clark who owned one of these PCP air rifles, and they were used to great effect against natives. You know, against natives who are hostile natives. You know, when they were on their expedition into the interior of the United States. So these PCPs are not toys. They're not. I mean, they are lethal weapons. Make no mistake about that. You know, they are not toys. Okay? Just because they're air powered doesn't mean they aren't powerful. You forget that air can be a powerful force, you know, when there's a tornado or a hurricane. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think in China, for example, they use a PCP air cannon to execute prisoners. You know? So, yeah, this technology has been around for a little while, but so it's been perfected in the modern era with the new PCP technology. Now you got power gauges on the side. You know what I mean? You know, it's the air guns have become much more powerful in the modern era. You're getting new air, like PCP air pistols that you can carry around, like the Cuban, that have a lot of power, and anyone can get one, and it's basically lethal. You know, but they go back. They do go back to the early days of firearms. They were around when the flintlock was around, you know. So they were around, you know. They're very easy to use. There's an air reservoir, a tank in the front, you know, or the back, depending where the tank is. You know what I mean? The older ones have the tank in the back, you know. But the newer ones have the tank in the front, you know what I mean, just below the barrel. That's where the air reservoir is. Now, compressed air is a very powerful force. When air is compressed together in a tight space, and when it's released in like certain degrees, you know what I mean? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the Dragon Claw Camo Campo. There's the Dragon Claw 2. I would suggest if you're gonna get the Dragon Claw, get the Dragon Claw 2. Much better than the original. It has good reviews from my good buddy Air Gun Alley Miami, which is a channel I would suggest if you like air guns. Air Gun Alley Miami. Another channel I would suggest is Air Gun Johnny. Let's see. If you like PCPs, another channel I'd suggest is like a few others coming to my mind. Let's see. There's a few others. I'll probably make a list for later. I can't come to my head, but those are two ones. The two first on the top of my head. You know, Air Gun Johnny, Air Gun Alley Miami. Of course, TAC Family Militia is a good one. You know. It's good stuff, but these new air guns are much more powerful than the pellet guns from your generation, Chad. You know, man? These new ones have a lot more power and can do a lot more damage. They're not toys anymore. You know, man? So I would suggest getting some, because no matter who you are, let's say you're a felon, you can own one of these in America, as long as you don't live in Jersey. Let's say, let's say you have a mental health record from your youth. Well, you can still own one of these. No, man. So there's a lot of things you can do. Self-defense is self-defense, for example, it still is within your reach. You still can have something that is comparable to a firearm, so without having the rules and regulations of a firearm in America, particularly. Well, strap yourself in, brother. You're gonna love it. I would suggest you buy one with the promo code TACFAN. Go to Pyramid Air, buy yourself a PCP. Buy yourself like a PCP air pistol, which would be the cheapest. The rifles, they can range in price. Some of them can be really expensive, but Oh yeah, I mean it balances. Yeah, it does. The tank is below the barrel, so you don't have to worry about it doing nothing. It adds extra grip. You know what I mean? A lot of these they. Well, that's for another topic for another stream. Well, but we'll do something tomorrow with that. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, what I'm trying to say, Nomad. That's why save that one for a private conversation. It was, but it's not particular to this stream. That's not a PCP. So that's an LTL. That's not a PCP. Big difference, PCPs are quite lethal, and they are ready to go. For example, you saw how powerful my break barrel air rifle was today. At 1,000 FPS, my break barrel would put a hurting on you, or a hurting on with the right pellets. I could probably put a hurting on, let's say, a raccoon if I wanted to. Do some hunting. That's so true. So these air rifles, they ain't no joke. So true. I'll see you at around 12, Nomad. 12, just like before. I was going to tell you that. I always like to do these things around lunchtime. You know what I mean? That way we can eat first and then go. You know what I mean? First we feast, then we shoot. Like men. Like men. And there's a lot more things I'm going to bring for shooting. But that's for tomorrow. Now we're talking about these PCPs here. Now, PCP is lethal. Now, there are break barrel air rifles that are quite lethal as well. There's one that's powerful. Mine is pretty lethal. Not every break barrel is lethal, for, let's say, to a human being, but There are a few that are, and that's pretty good. But PCP is where you want to really get into. If you want to get into, like, say, lethality of air arms, PCP is where it's at. Now, PCP does require a pump. It requires either a hand pump. Hand pumps are cheaper, or the electric pump, an extra tank. Once you get those extra stuff, I mean, it's a little bit pricey, but once you get them, it's then basically you don't need to do it anymore. Also, PCPs require a certain degree of maintenance, not a lot of maintenance as much as a firearm would, but sometimes the O-rings will wear out over time. You got to watch for the O-rings because that contains the air. The O-rings are important, but O-rings can be replaced. With exactly. But remember, O-rings can be replaced if they get old, so you can put new O-rings in them. So it's not O-rings contain the air. They don't require as much maintenance, I would say, as a firearm, but you just need to replace the lubricate it maybe a little bit, and some time and replace the O-rings. The seal is important. There we go. Yeah. So that's what PCPs can do for you. So if you want basically a gun with firearm power without the firearm regulations, PCP is for you. PCP and high-powered brake barrels. So they can all go. Exactly. The best thing about PCP and high-powered brake barrels is that even a felon can own one. Anyone can own one. No background check, no nothing. So that's the best part. But I think I've tooted my own horn. I'm going to see. It's been nice talking to everybody. It's been very nice. Unless there's new people coming in and who want to talk about PCP. And I think I said all I need to say. It's pretty much it. I mean, is there anything anyone else wants to add to the thing? Well, I guess that's about it. Me too. Well, God bless everybody. And maybe I've inspired you to get into air rifles and the more lethal air rifles, PCP. Because when you need to use lethal force and you cannot own a firearm, PCP is a great alternative. And, of course, high-powered brake barrels. But that's more for a long-distance situation, I mean, for example, my Black Ops sniper can nail a target at 100 yards. And that's a good thing. So, does anybody have any questions? before I go, because if you got any questions, I'll answer them. Thank you, Cabo Campa. So true. Well, no one's got any questions. God bless everybody. And if you're new to this and you can't own a firearm, or let's say you don't want to go through all the paperwork and red tape of getting one, PCP and high-powered brake barrels are right for you.